Good morning. We're starting the day off with a climb. Gotta check this bin right here to see if it's full. It should be about full of corn by now. It's burning. The neighbors are burning a burn pile at 8 in the morning. I'll get the heart rate going. It's got one ring. This should be able to hold about 5 truckloads. So let's go plug the leg. I hope not. I don't know if you can see it, but there's just a little bit of corn down here. When we first started filling this bin, one of the cushion boxes was leaking, but we called Sims Construction, said, hey, we got a problem. They were here within an hour and it was fixed. And that's service. Well, that's way drier than I was expecting it to be. Alright, trucks are done. I'm gonna run this one back down to the field. Don't think we're quite ready to go yet. I think George, he might have took a look at town out of the bins or something. I don't think Larry's there yet, but hey, I can go inspect the combine. Important stuff. Now, it is my understanding that we're going to work in that field we were in last night. Alright, in yesterday's video I made mention of that corn that went bad in that holding bin and we were having trouble getting out of there. We never got out of there yesterday. We got as much as we could, then we just had to get in the fields. Yesterday was George's birthday, and this is the kind of man George is. He got off work at 5 o'clock, 4:30 or whatever time he left, and then he came over here and beat on a mallet on that holding bin until he got a load in that dump truck. So he just took it in this morning. I guess they were able to take it in Cargill. Wasn't as bad as we thought. I haven't seen the ticket yet, but that's the kind of guy George is. Hard to beat up like that. As much as a hard time as I give him, he's pretty much the man. Just as 4. I might have done that. Don't worry. We're not done with it yet. Want to unhook it for a second. First off, we've never hooked up with this combine. Just kind of wanted to see how that went. There's this gigantic dust diverter out there. Works really well. I was kind of curious how that would interfere with the feeder house and all that stuff. So we are going to hook right back up to it and hit the corn. Okay, that is the new dust system right there. It is a little bit intrusive hooking up, but it appears to do an extremely good job and it's not that bad, so I'm willing to live with it. But it does affect seeing your hooks just a little bit, not bad. Alright, Dad's, he's going to take it for a spin this morning. Figured before we get backed up with trucks and whatnot, I should probably do my droning. So I'm going to take the drone up in the air, get some aerial views of this thing. I don't know when the last time we had a green combine here was. Fun fact though, if you go back to some of our flashback videos filmed this winter, we actually had a Claas, what was it, a 226 Commander or Dominator, I can't remember what the model was, but it was in that color scheme and it was in this field. So this is actually the second time a green, white, and red Claas combine has been over here in this field.
say, George? Say anything stupid. When we say anything stupid, George.
No,
Don't say anything that'll get us kicked off YouTube.
You gotta learn how to beat stuff.
George's turn to buy lunch, or fix lunch. He made this with his hands. He handed them the money, they handed him the food. A couple of the guys from Ohio Ag are going to take a couple rounds in it. But one thing we're sitting here thinking, looking at that corn Dad ran on it just a minute ago, they need to have a little cross auger up there, just kind of trickle that right over the cab into the head. I think that'd sell well. Alright, everybody's taking their turns in it, so taking mine again. What kind of radio we got? Not bad. That's the important thing. We gotta connect our Bluetooth. Gotta get our tunes. There we go. Oh, excuse me. We're off one. There we go. It's gonna be way easier with both hands. I've kind of been playing around with the CMOS monitor. CMOS is on right now. I found where you can adjust it. Like I can tell it that I'm running too much returns and it will adjust the combine accordingly and all that stuff. And I'll probably wait till someone shows me exactly like how to do all that stuff until I do it. But it does appear that that's a little bit more complicated maybe than the case. Like the case, everything was on one display, and it's even a Pro 700. I don't know. I don't know if it'd be better on two, maybe. That way you always have something right here that you're, I don't know. This seemed like it was maybe just a little bit more simpler on the 8250. But I also had a guy from the factory show me how to use the 8250, so I'm just kind of winging it right now. That grain is moving out of that tank quickly. You can make a big pile of deer corn pretty fast. I have a mild issue. Can't find a good place to pee. There's no dual right here. Where's the bathroom out on this one? Now one thing I know a lot of people are going to ask is for me to compare this to the Case IH we were demoing. Keep in mind this is a Class 7. There's 100 horsepower difference in this combine and that Case. So I am running just a tick slower. I'm running 4.8. I had that Case set to run 5 miles an hour. They're both handling this corn extremely well, so, well, both were. This corn here is a little bit wetter than what that Case was running, so it's really hard to compare those two combines, especially being that we demoed the Case 3 weeks ago. The crop conditions have changed a lot. This been in this test plot, though, I have seen it through a wide ranges of moisture. They've all been fairly dry. Nothing's been over 21%, so it's just hard to get a good handle on a combine and dry corn. Really, you need to do this in green beans. That's a good test. We found some really wet corn. We're not showing any losses on our meter. This is 22% corn. The yield monitor is saying this is anywhere from 210 to 260. I don't know how much I believe that. That might be off a little bit, but yeah, this running wet corn great. It is. I mean, it is taking more power. This is wetter. I mean, we were unloading on the go. I didn't realize how wet it was. We were running 5 miles an hour. That's probably a little too fast, but it's doing great. All right, Dad, he's running the combine. Like I say, this being in this test plot, this is probably a good place to do this because there's a variety of different moistures of corn. He's running 22% moisture corn. I didn't think we'd even have any of that wet, so he's kind of getting a feel for it there. Trying to compare the power, I guess, that Mercedes has to our C13s. Now I'm heading to my machine. I'm going to hop in it. I was having some problems with my ag leader. The yield monitor wasn't working all that well yesterday. And I was talking to Ag Infotech. They were in the area. They're actually coming to look at Dad's tractor anyways. So they took a look at mine. I'm going to see if it's working now. All right, back in familiar territory now. Let's get ready to leave. I guess we're taking it to our neighbor down this road. He's going to run beans with us this afternoon. So if we get done with this field, and depending on how backed up the trucks are, Dad and I might run down there and see how it does in beans. It's going to be interesting. He's going to be running a 45-foot draper on a Class 7 combine, so might run out of power, but we'll see.
Okay, they're taking the combine. Unhooked my head from it. Got it all hooked up. Take it down the road about 3 or 4 miles. They move right along. Bye-bye. Brian said the tree wasn't big enough to put it under, so he ain't gonna get it for me for Christmas. That's the way the luck goes, I guess. Okay, back in my combine, Old Faithful. I can do how to run it a little better. I think controls a little more familiar. It's a nice machine. Controls were nice, laid out good. Monitor, get everything. The auto parts work pretty good. There's watching change, there's tailing change, there's no flow screen. Fine, seems like it pulls a lot of power, but that's that new engine manual some way, I guess. Like mine's, we'll get up here. 4, 5, 4, 8. There's 4, 8. I'm running, I'm getting some better corn here. I even run 10, 15, 20% power, where that thing was 70 to 80 all the time. So I don't know if that's something to do with that, where they pump out the engine manual thing. Now I'm coming up out of this low spot, pulling down some now. Now we're up to, just fluctuates so much. We're up to, still only 30%. Okay, let's see what it takes. It's quite a big stream. Yeah, that was nice because this one just takes it like the whole length of the road almost. Now that one hit up and down pretty quick, like 5, 40 something moves a second or so. It's pretty quick. Rougher riding this, I can feel the waviness in this field. We used to plant it the other way, so we go crossway. It's a little bit wavy. Never noticed it. Another machine that tracks on it. It was steady and smooth.
One thing I'm gonna do real quick, look at this head, see if I can adjust these stripper plates any. There's a little bit more on the head than I would like. I think I can adjust some stuff out here, bring them deck plates in just a little bit better, and we'll see if that helps any. All right, change of plans. I'm gonna run Dad's combine, he's gonna run mine. He's gonna play with the speed, see if he can get it to do a little bit better.
Okay, folks, here we are. Getting a late start as usual. Unplug the puck, plug it back in, right on the iPad. Field view's not working as usual. That was my best Bob Goldwyn impression.
One thing is for sure, Dad's head is a lot nicer than mine, but it also covers the most acres. And I would have loved to have found a Capella for my combine whenever I bought that one, but fortunately it seems like I don't know, they hold their value a little bit better maybe, because I couldn't find anything in my price range when I was looking at that head. Definitely missed the higher speed on the unload. That was nice. One thing is for sure, the TerraTrack is where it's at. I'm running the same speed as I was running with the 7500. I've got the same head on, and I'm feeling every bump in this field. I guess I never noticed it because that was all I was used to, but I mean, that other combine was just smooth. It was just like you were floating across the field. Really impressed with that track system. Seems to me like this combine, our older one, is using less % engine load, so I don't know. I know they're testing some things in the software on that particular machine, so I don't know. It seems like this one is using less engine power. I don't know why. One thing people always mention is that Dad's camera audio is not as good. That's true, it's not. For one thing, his camera's way over here, far away from him. Another thing is it's right here by this door, which has a massive leak in it. Lets in a lot of noise. He needs a new door latch. That has a lot to do with his camera being that far up too. There's no place to put a mic on that one, and he does not know how to use one like this one. So I figure with Dad, we need to keep it simple, or he's not going to do the videos.
There's Brian, and up there is Dad. Don't see a passing lane. I think I'm just going to hang out here and see who wins.
Have we played chicken or something?
Ah, there it is. And Brian backed off.
Well, this was impeccable planning. Looks like we're just about to wrap this field up. And this is the last 100+ acre field we got. All right, we're done. I guess we're gonna put these up. We need to do some work on this head. See if we can make it run just a little bit better. We still have some corn right here. We're actually gonna save this until we haul the centers out of our grain bins over here. The other day I called that coring the bins. It's just another term for it, but basically that means you pull a couple loads out of the grain bin. That pulls all the fine stuff where the hot pockets will be out, so you get better airflow through there. But we want to do that first before we finish this corn. That way we can put it in there and those bins are full. You going home?
You'll have to lick it off the ground over there.
Oh, you threw my food out?
Yep.
Well, everything's dumped. Everything's moved. Everyone's went home but me and Dad. Our neighbors are running that Lexion and soybeans, so I think we're going to head down there and take a look at it. Really, that's probably one of the main reasons we're quitting this early. I mean, we did have that field done. We're going to have to move. It is about to rain, but yeah, we also want to go see that combine. But somebody spilled grain, and it wasn't me, and it wasn't BJ this time. Take a look at this. Clark bends a little full. As it turns out, it fills to one side, not the other. Over there by the door, there's still like a rib and a half of space. Not so much over here. It happens. We didn't spill much, caught it quick, so it happens. Now, the first year we were over here, I did that in this bin. I did that. It's Dad's fault too, but it was like 2,000 bushel. That was a bad one. Alright guys, just getting back from the neighbor's place. Didn't film a whole lot there, but that thing did great in soybeans. I was really impressed. It was extremely quiet. Sample was perfect. I mean, I was pretty impressed. It's a lot different than our combines and soybeans. Our combines do good, but it's just smooth, quiet, everything you would want out of a combine. So that was pretty cool. Glad we got to see that. Thanks Ohio Ag for bringing that down here. Thanks to Jason Rogers. That's our salesman. He's the one that really got it to us. So thanks to him. But if you guys like what you've seen, follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Brian's Farm Videos, Facebook at Brown Farms. It's supposed to rain tonight, so we'll see. Play it by ear, and we'll see you in the next video. Hey guys, I screwed up and deleted the clip of us running soybeans with that machine. We were running a 45-foot McDon Draper head. Those soybeans were anywhere from 13 to 15% moisture. They were fairly tough. Ground speed 3.5 to 3.9 miles an hour. We were using full engine power. I mean, we were bouncing around between 85 and 95% engine power, but that's the first time I've ever seen a 45-footer on a Class 7. Personally, that's the first time I've seen one. So I was impressed how it handled it. But the combine really shined in soybeans compared to our 7s. It was extremely quiet, extremely smooth. The machine, the bean sample was perfect. I mean, it was very good. I was thoroughly impressed. If you get the opportunity to demo one of these machines and you already have a 700 or 500 series combine, I would highly advise doing it in soybeans. I didn't notice a whole lot of difference in corn. It felt very similar to our machines in corn. But in soybeans, that combine really shined, and I was thoroughly impressed. That's not to say it wasn't a good corn combine. A 700 series Claas combine is an extremely good corn machine. And like I said, I didn't notice any standout difference in corn. It was very similar. So it's a good corn machine, but bean machine, that seems to be where they made the big improvements. Now guys, keep in mind, this is just my observation. Even with the soybeans, I was only in that combine for a grand total of 75 acres. So this was just my observations. So take it for what it's worth.